Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to talk about leads. L-E-A-D-S. Leads. Lead. What is a lead? Too many people just throw the word around, a lead. What's the difference between a lead, a prospect, a referral? What is it? I am going to define that today for you because, again, if we use the proper terms, we can communicate more effectively. So what is a lead? Think about that for a second. What is your definition of a lead? Here's my definition. A lead is a contact or contact information about a person who might be looking to use your product or service. That's it. A lead is a contact or contact information about a person who might be looking to use your product or service. You don't know. Now, let's get deeper into this. There's 3 types of leads, maybe 4, but let's go with 3 for now. First, there is a cold lead. A cold lead is usually someone you haven't contacted yet and has not, I repeat, has not been qualified. This could be an online inquiry that you get off your website. For example, somebody just, hey, send me some more information or want to know more about your company. That's a cold lead. Someone just coming off your website. Or you get somebody's contact information from some type of contact list, right? You just see a list, hey, I think I want to contact that person. That is a cold lead. You have no idea whether they're a fit for your product or service. Now, a warm lead is a lead that might, emphasis might, be interested in your product or service and comes from someone you met at an event. You ever go to a trade show, a chamber of commerce meeting, some type of networking event, and you meet somebody and you have some initial conversation with them, and once you meet them, they've met the minimum standard or the minimum requirement for your ideal customer. That is a warm lead. Now, a hot lead is one that meets all the above. You've met them, you've talked to them, but more importantly, here's the differentiator. You've qualified them. They've been qualified you, or you acquired that lead online and they've gone through some type of qualification process. In other words, a hot lead is someone who has been qualified. They meet the minimum standards and they have a propensity, a willingness to buy your product or service. So the 2 extremes. A cold lead is someone you haven't really met, you got the contact information, you had no contact with them, you have not qualified them. At the other extreme is someone you have met, you have talked to, you have qualified. And somewhere in the middle is a warm lead. Again, they might be interested, you don't know yet, you got some initial qualification, they fit the customer profile, but they have not been qualified. So only a hot lead has been qualified. Now, that brings us to a referral. What's a referral? Well, a referral is a lead from someone. It could be a friend, a family member, or a business colleague, right? But a referral can fall under either of those 3, cold, warm, or hot, depending on how you receive the lead. A referral is a lead from someone. Again, whether it's cold, warm, or hot lead, it depends on who gave it to you, the source, and whether they fit your customer profile. So, for example, if someone just passes on a lead and says, look, I think this person might be interested in what you have to offer because I know them a little bit, then that could be considered a warm lead, right? They might be interested, but even if they fit your customer profile, they may not be ready to buy. Now, a hot lead is someone that, it's a lead that comes to you, a referral that comes to you where your colleague or friend or family member says, look, I know I just bought your product. I love it. Here's another person right there. I know they're ready to buy because I just talked to them last week and they're having the same issues I'm having. This person is ready to buy. That is a hot lead. That is a referral that is a hot lead. So again, a referral is a lead from somebody, and it'll depend whether it's cold, warm, or hot, depending on how you receive the lead and the source. By the source, I mean the person that gave it to you. Is it a person that you trust? Is it a person that you trust in terms of making making a rational judgment in terms of saying, yeah, that's a good lead. Or if somebody just gave it to you, again, without any qualification, just say, hey, here's somebody who might be interested. Guess what? We don't want to waste our time with that. So that is how we define a lead. Let me go through it quickly again. A lead is a contact or contact information about a person who might be looking to use your product. Now, there's 3 types of leads. Cold, never qualified, never talked to. Warm lead, they fit the customer profile, but you still haven't qualified them. A hot lead, they're qualified, you've talked to them, they meet the minimum standard of who you want to sell to. And a referral is simply a lead from somebody that could be cold, warm, or hot. Now, why is this important for you to understand the differences? Because how we allocate our time in the selling makes all the difference in the world. Are you categorizing your leads? Let me ask that again. Are you categorizing your leads into cold, warm, and hot, or tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? It doesn't matter how you do it. But my question is, are you doing it? If you're not categorizing your leads, warm, cold, hot, then you might be wasting time on people who simply aren't going to buy. So qualifying your leads, categorizing them allows you to manage your time more effectively. So again, think about this. As you're looking at your CRM system and entering your data, begin to understand what is a cold lead, what is a warm lead, and what is a hot lead. But here's an interesting exercise you should do. Talk to somebody within your organization and ask them, how do they define a cold lead? How do they define it? How do they define a warm lead? And how do they define a hot lead? And then have that conversation. You might find out that how you qualify and they qualify might be 2 different ways, but maybe by having a conversation, you guys can come to some agreement into how best to qualify these 3 types of leads. And that is it for this Sales Influence podcast. Don't forget to leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. You know what I like to hear. Give me some great feedback. Also, check out my online sales training platform, the Sales Mastery Academy. 40-plus courses. We keep adding stuff every month, over 400 videos. If you're serious about increasing your sales velocity, go to salesvelocityacademy.com. Lastly, I want to thank you for listening. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care.
Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.